do it.
She didn't dive in.
Welcome to Awkward Conversations. Really glad you're with us. We have a topic today that I think could get rather awkward. We'll see where it goes. But today we're going to talk about how I walk on eggshells.
And I think that's his problem,
That's
not
our-
mine.
And thus, I walk on eggshells. In all fairness, this is not something you and I deal with like constantly. And I do think there are. I
He
love.
says constantly. I'm like, you actually do walk on eggshells?
This is why I said
I'm serious.
this
I want to know.
topic.
Do you actually walk on eggshells?
How long have we been married? 37
7.
years. There have been moments in our 37 years, like, and when I say moments, 37 years, a moment in 37 years could be a couple weeks, or it could be a month or two or whatever.
Wow. Wow.
So let's. But there are couples that I think walk on eggshells all the time.
Yeah, but now we have to talk about that.
Well, so what is walking on eggshells?
It's being paranoid and
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
assuming
It's a weird
things.
term, actually.
To me, walking on eggshells is like being paranoid. You're assuming that things are going to happen that didn't,
Yeah.
or that haven't happened, or could happen, or like it's
Right.
It's a lot of assumption. So that's I mean,
So
it's
I
not
mean,
the
the
problem. Like,
definition's important.
yeah,
Yeah.
there are people who I understand. There are people. I'm not going to generalize. There are people
Yeah.
who cause you to walk on eggshells.
Right.
Like, I get
Yeah.
it. I've experienced those people.
Right. Right.
So, but also there is an element for me, if there's somebody that I feel like I have to walk on eggshells with,
Right.
that I'm like, okay, no, not in a marriage, but in other situations, you can easily be like, well, I'm not willing to spend my life like that. So either I have to have a down and dirty conversation with this person,
Right.
or I am not going to hang out with this person as much or
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I mean?
Well, and I do know what you mean, and I
So-
think I would add into your definition there of if it's extreme and you're I don't know, I should have researched that. I'm curious where that walking on eggshells term
Yeah,
came
it
from.
would be
It's just a funny term.
Yeah.
But part of it would indicate your level of security, your level of safety, and then of course you brought up, and I agree, the level of if you're paranoid or whatever.
Well, it also has to do with the level of, if it's you walking on eggshells, it has to do with the level of your security.
Absolutely. So I would say there have been moments in our marriage where I was less secure. And I look at those times and I look at, let me back up and caveat just a little bit. There have been times where I have been less secure for whatever reasons. I also live with a woman that can be, if you know the Enneagram at all, she definitely is in that 7 wing 8 kind of world. So she can bring a hammer at times. She can be very blunt, very bold, and I've learned that, and most of the time I find this entertaining and engaging and valuable and so forth. But if I'm in an insecure point in my life for some reason, then it can be intimidating. It can be scary. It can be things that when I'm in a good place, I'm like, oh yeah, come on, and you and I can do well and banter and so forth. But if I'm not in a good place, then I might find myself walking on eggshells.
Sure.
But I'm glad we don't plan these. We just choose a topic. So I'm glad you brought up some of what you did, because I've been thinking about in preparation for this video, how important it is to recognize this fact exactly, that sometimes I think we feel like this person's doing this to me, and therefore I'm walking on eggshells. I don't feel like I can be me. I don't feel like I can have an opinion. Whatever the thoughts might be coming out, that we feel like somebody's doing that to us, that's almost always a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I mean, you made the point earlier that there might be people you don't want to be around so much.
sure,
That can still be true, but
if I can't have a conversation that's open and honest with them,
yes.
then I'll just be like, okay, it's just not worth it.
No,
But
right.
if you're in a marriage, then you have to, but you have to figure out how to have those open, honest conversations. And
You do.
yeah, and
You
this
do.
is, we weren't planning to talk about the Enneagram, but as
No.
an Enneagram 8, 7, strong wing 8, when I bring the hammer, when I have an opinion, which even that to me is funny because I don't, in my mind,
man.
I don't ever bring the hammer. Like, if you want me to bring the hammer, you wouldn't even have a clue what you would see because I could bring the hammer. But in my
hold
mind,
back, huh?
in my mind, I've never brought the hammer.
Oh man.
So it's funny, but as that personality type,
Yeah.
I'm like, if you don't have what it takes to come toe to toe with me
Right.
and have those down and dirty conversations, then you don't have what it takes to be in a relationship with me. Like,
You understand? There's people watching that are like, she just brought the hammer right there. I'm just saying.
no, I'm just having a
man.
conversation.
Oh man, this is great.
Yeah.
And you can't have a relationship with me.
No, but I didn't say you can't. This is the problem. You feel like I'm bringing the hammer. I didn't say you can't. You're not allowed to have a good relationship. No, it's not that. It's if you can't engage in that down and dirty, honest conversation,
Right.
then you're not going to have what it takes to do the long haul of a
Right.
relationship.
Yeah.
It's not that you aren't
Yeah.
allowed to. You can't. You don't have the capability. It's that you don't. You need to have that in order to be in a relationship with somebody
Right.
who is in that space.
Yeah.
Now,
No, that's a fair. I mean, that.
I think the other side of this is those people who are either narcissistic or
Oh,
controlling
well, that's a different
or
level.
manipulative. Then you've got people
Yes.
walking on eggshells for different reasons.
You do.
Because they don't want to incur the wrath of said person.
And
right?
it would genuinely be wrath and maybe even forms of abuse or
torment,
whatever.
abuse.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in
And that obviously is not
situation-
okay.
Right. In that situation, the person in the wrong is not the person who is walking on eggshells. The person
Not
in the wrong
necessarily.
is the person who is being abusive,
Yeah,
controlling, manipulating, etc.
Yeah.
Then that's a problem.
You know, when we have these conversations and we shoot these videos, I think, you know, we're of course always talking from our perspective and our experience. My hope would be that there are times where there are topics that come up that you can see through maybe our perspective or experience to things like this. Because I've never been in a relationship with somebody. I think I've bumped into some people, but I've never been in a relationship with somebody that I had to stay in relationship with that was of that level.
Yeah.
I think I bumped into some of those people, but I was able to just kind of, okay,
Right.
sorry about your mess,
Right.
and
Yeah.
not uncaring, but I
Right.
don't need to deal with your mess,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But there could be those people out there watching who are in a marriage relationship, and there are these legit abuses, not
That
the
is a
softy
problem.
ones, but
Yes.
legit
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
My heart goes out to you in that situation,
Yeah.
and I would encourage you to endeavor to find help and support and strength
Right.
in that, right?
Yeah.
But I think, we of course come at it from our viewpoint, our experience, and our perspective.
Yeah.
And I would say, I said it a minute ago, but I want to say it again, that most of the time, I love Sandra's boldness, strength, and comments that can look like the hammer to some people. I get a kick out of that because I'm a pretty strong personality as well, but in a very different way. Mm-hmm. And so, like, one of the mistakes I made early on in our marriage is things would come up, conversations would come up, and I'd be like, well, I don't need to argue with you about it. I mean, we don't have to agree. And I've learned since then, though, on her side, she's like, oh no, we need to, and she finds value in going toe to toe at it and expressing the opinions. And she likes the strength, the engagement, and the strengthening of a relationship and the opinion. I don't think she would ever say that I have to view everything the way she does, but she does feel like she does have her opinions and views. and you have them for a reason. So you're pretty committed to them. So you might think my view is not as valuable or something. I don't know. I'm stammering for a word there. Maybe I should shift my views. You know, I don't feel like you don't let me have my views.
Right.
Or that you demand that I see it the way you see it.
Right.
I think there have been moments, particularly when I was in a weak or vulnerable state for whatever reason, usually unrelated to you, that you've expressed some strong opinions. I had a hard time understanding them. And there are a time or two where it sent me reeling.
Right.
I'm not blaming that on you.
No.
I'm just saying these things happen. And that's the point in talking about. I mean, one of the points in these videos is to talk about these things, right?
Yeah.
And there have been some hard moments for me because of that.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think you are very sensitive to mood shift.
I am.
And even to
That's
words that might not carry as much weight as it carries for you.
True.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
We'll be in a conversation with somebody and I'll hear the exact same story. Yeah, I'm there. I'm hearing the exact same thing. And then later you say something about it and I was like, what? Like, I didn't hear it that way.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah. No, we do bump into that.
It was very chill, just a passing statement.
And I'm like, oh no.
And for you, it was like this big opinion, this big thing. And I'm like, what?
And who knows whether in a lot of those situations, we will talk about it then sometimes, and I'm left going, I don't know. Maybe I read into that. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was picking up on something you weren't.
Sure.
You know, at any rate, what do you do with that?
Like at that point, you would have to go back to the person and say, when you said this, were you saying this or were you saying this, right?
Right.
So, but it is just interesting that when we talk about walking on eggshells, you know, like it would never be my heart, my intention for anybody to feel that way. So it surprises me to hear you say several times, maybe for a couple months at a time, you've walked on eggshells where I'm like, oh, wow. Like, that's like a revelation to me. And I don't know if it's
revelation on camera.
If it's like, because that I want to say that going toe to toe thing is not about, I like a knockdown drag out fight. I'm not looking for you to call me names or
no, you just want to spar.
Like, I just want to have the challenging conversation, a good debate.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like at the bottom of that debate, when you get down to it, you learn something super important and super valuable about the other person that you wouldn't have known before if you weren't willing to go there.
Yeah.
And so.
And I don't tend to, I couldn't sit here and say I don't see value in that, but I don't want to go there unless I need to for some reason. Yeah. Typically.
Whereas I want to have that kind of
just for the kicks and giggles even.
Well, sometimes for the kicks, but sometimes because I'm trying to get to know your stance, your view. I'm trying to get to know more of what you think about that. You know, when you have somebody who walks out in the middle of the conversation or won't hear you, then again, you're like, okay, they don't actually want to know me. They don't actually want to know my opinion. They don't actually want to connect.
Right.
Now, I realize that's a big jump and that might be too much, but that is a little bit of how I feel. And I've experienced that where, you know, you're just like, okay, you don't even care to hear my thoughts or opinions about this because they're different than yours. That somehow concerns you, scares you. I don't know.
Right.
But you're not even willing to listen. And at that point, again, is that space of like, okay, we just don't have the same connection.
And I think when it comes to, on that point, and specifically in a marriage relationship, would you say you predominantly almost always know what you think on something, how you feel about it, and it's right there.
Absolutely.
Well, I, on the other hand, I mean, we finally learned this, but she would ask me things at times. I'm like, man, can I get back to you on that?
No, early on, it wasn't. Can I get back to you? That was just that. I don't know. Or else it was just like, I don't think it matters. Or it was, you would say something just to placate the conversation. Early on.
Yeah, later we learned that my problem was, I didn't know what I thought about it.
Yeah.
I couldn't express to you if I wanted to. I couldn't tell you. How do you feel about that? I don't know. Can you give me a day?
Which I find that so
Can you give me
astounding.
time to figure that out? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
So I think, as early in our marriage, what she described did happen. And it was largely because I had no opinion to share.
And then that made me kind of lose respect in a sense.
Sure.
Of like,
Sure.
who is this guy? He doesn't even have an opinion. He doesn't even know what he thinks about. Like,
Yeah.
how is that, in my mind, respectable? If I'm going to respect you, you have to have an opinion about stuff. You have to have like,
That's funny.
surely you have thoughts about this instead of just being super, it appears passive. And for me, passive is, people who are passive, it's really difficult for me.
Yeah, it is hard for you.
I just have almost no tolerance for that.
Yeah.
Because passivity is just weakness, in my view. And so there was a little bit of a lack of respect there. Now, when I learned, it's not that he doesn't have an opinion, it's just that it's not right there.
Yeah.
That he needs time to think it through.
Yeah.
Which I still don't understand, in the sense
Right.
of like, I'm not like that.
Right.
But can I give him the time to come back with his answer? Sure. Like, that's so funny to me. But if you need a couple days to figure it out, that's what you need. That's who you are. That's fine. But that at least helped me go, oh, okay, you're not just passive. You're not just weak. It's just that you need some time to know how you feel about this situation.
And sometimes, though, if we turn the tables, and this sounds pretty surface, but I think it makes the point. But if we turn the tables a little bit, if she asked me, how do you frame a wall for a house? Okay, boom, boom, boom. I can line it out. I can tell you what's important. I can tell you what'll meet code, what won't, etc.
Yeah.
I can line it all out. She'd be like, you get sticks. You go to the store and you buy some sticks.
I know they're 2x4s or 2x6s.
And some nails. So, I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm saying the point is there would be things that...
instantly.
Yeah. But, excuse me, then there would be those things where I just either haven't had a reason to put thought to it or consider it or ponder it. It hasn't been something that, for whatever reason, I wouldn't even say it doesn't matter. It just hasn't been on my forefront. And things that have been for you.
Yeah.
And usually they would be more heart, emotional kind of things that I just am, I need a minute to connect there. I don't know.
The difference is you are very task oriented.
Totally.
So anything practical, anything task, anything that needs to get done, like boom, 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 great.
Yeah.
And I am very people oriented and or heart focused, right?
Right.
So all of that to me is like, oh, easy. Like I can line it out in a heartbeat. There are so many things that I need help with on tasks, practical, figuring out. So some of that is just simply, again, the makeup of you and I that's very different in that way. Like, yeah.
And I mean, I think for those of you watching, I think it's important that you recognize if you're in a situation where you do feel like you have to walk on eggshells. I think we've pointed out...
Suck it up.
Suck it up. We've pointed... There goes that hammer again. Excuse me. We've pointed out quite a wide variety here of dynamics that can play into this life together. Because it could be as extreme as the truly... I don't use this term lightly. I don't think you do either. But the true narcissist that you're in relationship with. Which that's like way extreme.
Yes.
It could be clear over here on just, hey, I have a different value point. I know how to build a wall, but if you need me to advise somebody on their heart and their emotions, I need a minute.
Yeah.
Right? So real practical things, really significant things. There also could be...
those aren't on the same line at all. Like
They're not, but they play into why you might be walking on eggshells. Right. I mean, I might feel like I'm walking on eggshells because I don't have an answer to give you. There have been times where I'm like, I cannot believe she's asking a very reasonable question here and I don't have an answer. Yeah. I've even had moments where I'm like, this is ridiculous. But I need a day to connect with my heart, to ponder, consider, maybe seek God's word, whatever. Maybe ask another friend. I don't know. I might have to work a little bit. And I even
ask
find
somebody else what I think about this.
I even find it stupid, but so for people watching, maybe considering where's the level of your problem here,
Yeah.
right? Because it's been very good
Right.
for me. And there were times where I blamed you,
Sure.
but then when I get honest, because I do like to learn and grow, when I got honest, I had to admit to myself, she really didn't do anything wrong. It's how I took it. It's how I responded to it. I want to grow. I want to learn here. Now, did we have damage to repair? Yeah, probably. It probably took a little time or whatever. Fine. But own your stuff where you need to own it.
Yeah.
Recognize your situation for what it is, because in most cases you can just learn and grow and tweak some things and learn how each other work too. She doesn't seem as phased anymore when I say, that deserves an answer. Maybe tomorrow?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just grin then. And
Yeah. And I think that's easy for me to go, oh, sure, take your time, figure it out, whatever. But I do think no matter where you are, like if you're sitting here thinking, oh man, I totally agree with Seth. Great. Maybe your growth point is finding more security.
Maybe.
And discovering yourself in order to know, do you need that time to figure it out? And can you just say, I need that time?
Yeah.
If you are sitting there agreeing more with me, your growth point might be to consider, am I being a jerk? Because just because that's your personality doesn't give you permission to act like a jerk. And I try really hard not to. And I think most of the time I do an okay job at it. But are you being a jerk? Are you on the verge of being controlling, manipulative, narcissistic, abusive?
Right.
That's a big deal. You need to figure that out. Go get some help, right?
Yeah.
So I just think I want to say, like, even though we're on kind of different ends of this, learning how to, what is your growth point?
Yeah.
Not your spouse's,
No.
not your friends.
Worry about yours.
Whatever. Like, what's your growth point in this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Learning how to say things nicer.
I know, if you're a person that wants to learn and grow, it's not too hard to find the growth points typically.
Right.
And if you need input, there's usually, particularly in today's world, it's pretty easy to find input
so easy.
from God's Word or various other sources that can be really helpful. So,
yeah.
I hope this has been helpful to people. There's some good stuff in here. I've learned a couple of things. So, yeah, it's good. Well, thanks for watching. Nothing else?
Nope.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. This wouldn't be fun without them.
Right.
Yeah. Thanks for being here.
It's true.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. Please ring the bell. Please like and subscribe. We want people to hear about these videos.